Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, man. Welcome back. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. It helps us overthrow the YouTube algorithm overlords. We're out here on my Inmotion V14. At this point, the V14 has had a couple of things that I've adjusted. The number one thing being that we add the shims. So in the batch ones, they needed a little bit of a shim adjustment to make these sliders run perfectly up and down. And boy, do my sliders run perfectly at this time. My V14 is kitted with the Grizzly fairing, seat bumper, and battery protection. So that those little yellow corners at the bottom of my batteries, that's a Grizzly. In doing so, we do delete the kickstand, and that certainly does make the wheel a lot more versatile in downward traversal, be it from drops, be it from jumps, be it from off-road stuff, going down mountainy type things. So yeah, that's all a thing. Whenever the sky is like this, the sky, not this guy, but anyway, the sky, it's blue, beautiful, bright. It is wonderful for filming. So I love catching the lighting, especially with the seat that I got from Grizzly, that sky blue sort of color. It works magic when doing the color grading. So enjoy that, guys. It's like eye candy. The pads that you see there, those are VCF. Those are, that means variable cam something? Variable cam, well, that's awkward. What's not awkward is how incredibly insane these things go and move, and they just offer so much control. Man, it would be super duper cool if, I don't know, Grizzly and Roger partnered or something. That would be super duper sick, I think, personally. What do you guys think? Would it be wicked to see maybe Grizzly make these pads? I don't know. I don't know of anybody else that would be like as good at the job, but who knows? Who knows? The V14 is such a wonderful ride, guys. That, like, it's weird. The only suspension that actually comes close to the way that the Librachem ecosystem with the fast ace and stuff feels is my V14. And what's sad, though, is that a lot of people have like these varying experiences on the V14 simply because the V14, how do I say this? It just didn't seem to work perfectly out of the box for every single person. And I don't know, I guess that's just the way it happens with products, but I really wish that the launch was a lot more solid for the V14. Super duper wheel. I mean, literally my absolute favorite wheel for the EUC experience. Like, there are other wheels that are better for commuting, for sure. There are other wheels that have more range, that have like more top speed. But when you're talking about like just agility, changing directions, like taking advantage of every single feature set that becomes like a playground, you know, that's like what the V14 is about. And to me, that's one of the things that I absolutely love about EUC. So when you get into that like 15-inch, like with the rocket and the arrow that's coming out, and then you have like these 16-inch wheels, like the Patton, the Extreme, the V14. These wheels are so good at like the overall EUC experience because you can, you know, do the little fun curb bonks with them. You can go downstairs, you can go up terrain, you know, you can ride on the road a little bit. They're not as comfortable at speed as bigger wheels per se, but for the EUC like novelty fun experience, I really don't think that there's anything that quite comes close to this V14, man. It's just it's a dream. It's a dream. It's so easy to change direction, like the agility. I mean, it stops and starts on a dime. I mean, even ripping those stairs for a 16-inch wheel, the thing feels uber duper plush. Right now, we're pouring through this little, it's an apartment complex in the university area. We're coming up on Lake Alice. Lake Alice is normally full of alligators. So like during the summertime, when it's a little bit warmer, you'll see this lake up here completely seeded with all of these little beady eyes at night. And it's kind of creepy, if I'm going to be honest. Whenever riding around campus, or just Gainesville, period, it's always a surprise to me, even now, even though I ride through here all of the time, respectively at 20 miles per hour for anybody that's watching while I'm on campus. I am always still surprised by how many trails are available at the edge of the horizon. And it sounds like such a corny thing to say, right? Oh, it's a beautiful trail. Like, check out the horizon. What does the horizon have in store? right? Like, I mean, it kind of sounds corny, but dude, there are so many trails that just pop out of nowhere and that take you to somewhere that's cool, that's something that's worth experiencing. There's just so many dope trails. It's like Gainesville is kind of patched together in terms of these trails by a bunch of old mountain bike folk. So there's these really clever ways to get through to every single corner of the city. And in that spirit, I'm actually coming up on one right now. So this is on campus, and then just out of nowhere, just boop, just this little like dope downhill run. I mean, it's not downhill for mountains, but it is downhill. It's not down a mountain. It is downhill though. And you can just see the V14 just eating up everything, guys. It's wild. It's so much fun. If you've not ridden these things, guys, you've got to try it. You've absolutely got to try it. I know people say, every time I see people, they're always like, oh, I'd kill myself. But it's like, bruh, like, chances are something's going to kill yourself at some point. That was pretty wicked, right? That little underneath the tree thing. But seriously, something's going to kill you at some point. You know, people get killed crossing the street, walking. People, you know, hurt themselves going 5 miles an hour on an EUC. People hurt themselves going 50 miles an hour on an EUC. It's really just don't zero in on how you can get hurt. You know, I mean, it's true. I saw it in a movie, Once Upon a Moon. You know, everybody dies, but not everybody truly lives. This is such a true statement. EUCs really give you that back. You know, you really get to live your life again. And if you've never had the experience of like that freedom, it's exhilarating. I mean, your body's like, you've never done something like this. Your brain's never experienced something like this. Like the human brain has never been able to try to fall forward indefinitely and then just never be able to fall forward. Like the way that it accelerates is by falling forward. You know, like if you don't actually hit the ground when you're trying to fall, by definition, dude, you're flying. You're flying. I cannot be convinced otherwise. Look at me trying to be fancy. Like he thinks he's fancy. Look, he thinks he's fancy going backwards. Fancy little boy going backwards on the boardwalk. This is normally a little bit higher in water, guys. The water line is typically a little bit higher. I was so sad to see all this. I mean, it's still kind of scenic, right? But I certainly do like seeing a little bit more water, you know. Things are happening with the climate. I don't know who's to blame. I'm not that smart. But there's stuff happening with the climate, that's for sure. I love these P1 Max gloves. They just look so good, don't they? Tie in so nice with the red that's on the Usui backpack. And yeah, man. I think it's about aesthetics too. You really got to zero in on aesthetics as well as like functionality. I think that's one of the reasons why I really like the Lazy Roller jacket. Which again, if you have like, you know, if you got like a midsection, then it may not be like super comfy because it's a little snug. It can be a little snug around that area, you know. But that's how it's supposed to fit. You don't want your protective gear just walking all over you. It's kind of wild. Man, it's so much fun. I wish I could tell you how like the air feels. I mean, those of you who ride EUC, you get it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you haven't ridden EUC, then you don't know. It's so crazy, like feeling the wind just like whipping over you indefinitely. You know, the little leans side to side, meaning so much in terms of what your experience is or what it is that you're accomplishing. And it's just intuitively you're used to like a steering wheel or something. You're used to some handlebars. You're just being able to flow around with so much precision, so much control, so much grace. It's just crazy. So, of course, you know, wandering around campus is just this epic experience. You're always turning heads a little bit, you know, but generally, if I'm gonna be honest, I try to stay out of people's way. You see it right there. You see it pretty much all the time. If I can get out of people's ways, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't mind taking a little bit of a detour to the left, a little bit of a detour to the right. As long as I'm able to stay out of people's ways, I feel really good about it. You can have fun without being a butt, you know. It feels like a lot of cats that I see riding, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I don't know if you see this happening as much as I do. Maybe it's just the sphere of EUC riding that I see. But a lot of times you see folks just like zipping like through cars, you know, blowing red lights and, you know, trying to almost drive aggressively against vehicles, against traffic. And not only is that dangerous for you, like in a first person perspective. Ooh, I love the hop acceleration. Did you see that, guys? Like, run it back if you need to. Seriously, that hop thing, that's something that I've been really working on, and I absolutely love accelerating that way. So a lot of times when I come up to a stop, if it's time to accelerate again, I'll hop to get past the pedals, so that way I can dig in and accelerate just a little quicker. I love the architecture on the right there as well. I know it looks like I'm zipping by people right here, but it's because I'm in the bike lane and I'm not actually breaking any rules. I'm actually going super duper slow, guys. I'm going really slow. It's just the difference between going slow and being stopped is, you know, a lot. Because if somebody is stopped, then going slow is going to, well, you know how that stuff works, guys. I'm not going to have to explain that. I love the riding videos. I really love the riding videos that I used to see from Chooch, man. I love to see him riding all the time. Anybody else here get into riding from watching Chooch? It was a little bit of Chooch and a little bit of Wrong Way, a little bit of Sean, a little bit of Speedy Feet. Man, Ian over at Speedy Feet, I thought he was the coolest. I still think he's actually kind of the coolest. He's a pretty cool guy. But UF campus, man, it's one of the greatest places to go if you're looking for a lot of technical things, a lot of like city street sort of things, like urban, I don't know, like urban trials, urban obstacles. So if you're like looking for urban obstacles, like stairs, drops, and stuff like that, then, you know, UF is the place to go. That's me right now contemplating it. It's like, I know it said no skateboard, no bike, but it didn't say no EUC, so here we go. And, you know, I try to not be disrespectful for sure. So, you know, if anybody was here and they were studying at any of these benches, I wouldn't be like jumping, doing what it is that I'm doing right now. But because nobody is here and it's just me, and me doing this isn't disturbing anybody, then I am going to keep on doing it, because conversely, as opposed to disturbing anybody, it's actually really fun to me. Gauging some of the things that I should do, and some of the things that I shouldn't do. And this looks more of like a can that I should versus, you know, the two-story stair sort of thing. I was a little bit nervous that the wheel would drop, and I'll be honest, guys, I do not like having to repair these things. So if I can't guarantee that I'm going to knock it down, if I can't guarantee that I'm going to land on the wheel, generally speaking, I'm not really trying to like bust my wheels up anymore. So I really want to just have fun with as little liability as possible, and I want them to keep on running. Like, for real, guys, during 2024 I ended up with so much downtime on my wheels because they were just broken. They were busted. And I can't tell you how miserable of an experience it is when, you know, your wheels are down and you just want to have fun just riding and do some bare minimum stuff, but you can't because, you know, most of your wheels are down. Being honest, whenever your wheel is down and you've got like 5 wheels and they're all down, and it's a really depressing situation because you might just want to go out for a little ride and, you know, not do anything crazy, and you can't go for that little ride. You can't, you know, just ride to the store. I mean, it starts to become stressful. Like, you realize when AUC, when you only have, like, if it's your only mode of transportation, okay, like, I don't have a car. I don't want a car. I sold my car back in 2021 or whatever, and I prefer commuting on EUC because I don't have to deal with traffic. It's a far superior mode of transportation for me. No traffic, no parking, and every ride's an adventure. Let's face it. I mean, it's the absolute truth. I used to think that like going everywhere via a 5-speed was like the real adventure. Nah. Like, the real adventure is going everywhere, like, with as little surroundings as possible. Any way that you can take in your environment as much as possible, that is the better way to travel. I promise you. You gotta let your senses experience the stuff, guys. Seriously. So, when you get down to, like, just 1 EUC, when you're used to having, like, 5 EUCs, that shit is incredibly stressful, B, because you do not have any fallback solutions. There's no recourse. There's no catch net. So it's like, And then the charging gets weird. I'm used to being able to park one wheel and then rotate out the other. You know, like I might ride my Master Pro for a couple of days, park it, not charge it, then hop on the Master 4, you know, ride that for a day, park it, not charge it, then ride the V14, and then start charging the Master Pro, and then ride the Patent. You know, like when you can take some of the stress load off of the wheels that you have in rotation, that's nice. You know, you're not stressed out. You can really have fun and live it up on every single ride. But, you know, if they all getting broken, it's whack, B. So right now, ripping across, just trying to have a little bit of fun here while staying out of everybody's way. You see, I stayed out of that dude's way, stayed out of traffic's way, getting out of these folks' way right here. It's literally so easy, guys. Being considerate is free. Being kind is free. Smiles are priceless. I don't know why people don't invest more often in this exchange. It's far, far, far more worth it to do. Yo, DNA Bridge is so cool, guys. So cool. That's this thing right here. It looks like a double helix or something, right? I think that's what it's designed to look like. It's kind of cool. I think it's epic, personally. That's the general consensus from a lot of people, though, about this, about that bridge. It's a wonderful feature. But again, just trying to go around people, you know what I mean? Not trying to buzz them, not trying to get their reactions or something like that. Like, I think that's so crazy. It's so lame when people do that, you know? I probably went a little bit fast for that person, but we made eye contact and they were smiling and they were really, really enthusiastic about the experience. So I went on ahead and like kind of showed them the experience. But that was a very clear communication between me and that person. Nothing wrong with taking the road less traveled, dude. It's so much more fun, so much more safe for everybody involved. I just saw a statistic that like 4.6% of scooter injuries happen to pedestrians. You know, not even people that are actually riding these things. That's crazy to me. You know, we got to do better. You know, just because you want to have fun doesn't mean that you get to put everybody else's lives at stake. And, you know, it's not like it cuts off the fun ceiling. It's not like I'm not having a blast here. People still love seeing what you do. People still love catching you. And the reactions are nice when they can see you, when they're aware, and when they want to see something fun and fancy, show it to them, 100%. But you never know what a pedestrian's going to do when you pull up on them and you buzz them, man. You can mess around and hit them, hurt them, cripple them. You just don't know. So, you know, for me, I just prefer to be mindful, be safe, be considerate, you know? I mean, there's so many cool ways to get down. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start to wrap it up here. Thanks you for tuning in. It's been your boy, Johnny. And I can't thank you enough for tuning in and hanging out with me. It's always a pleasure every single time. Sometimes I just want to post the ride. You know, a lot of the other videos, there's a lot of research that goes into that stuff. And sometimes I just want to ride, share it with you guys. I have so many videos that I just want to upload, and I feel like I'm obligated to put a script to each and every one of them. And I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop feeling like I have to put a script to each and every one of them, and, you know, turn on your notifications or turn them off. I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to be releasing a lot of content. So I appreciate everyone who is here with me on this journey.